Alright guys, in today's video I'm going to show you guys how to turn a $1 car into a much more expensive dollar car. We'll find out exactly how much this will sell for once we finish it up and actually put it on an eBay auction, and we'll see what, how much people are interested on spending on this one. Alright, so first step, we're going to want to drill it. We're going to want to drill in here and in here, those two little holes. They both have basically these little washers, kind of similar to, well, actually the exact same to like Hot Wheels, what was the other one, Matchbox. But anyway, we're gonna want to drill right there and right there. That will break the seals, and once the seals break, this should come apart. So that is the first step. All right, so now we're gonna move on to the next step here. I drilled right there. And I also drilled right there in that hole. You've got to do it deeper, love. Sorry, guys. I'm drilling with my wife right now. All right, keep it PG, guys. Anyway, there's the first part. Here's the wheels. That's a very interesting way of how Adventure Force does their cars. But then again, these cars are very cheap. Are you okay? That just scared you?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Wait, hold the car, and then switch it to reverse and reverse out of there.
I did.
There you go. Slow. You control the drill, okay? All right. So anyway, here is the second part of it, which is all the windshields and everything. And here's the base of the car. Base is not that bad. I mean, I'm not sure the type of metal. I think it might be die cast as well, but I could be wrong. But anyway, it's a really cool base. Definitely worth it, in my opinion. I know there's Hot Wheels that cost more and they don't even paint headlights. I don't know if the taillights are painted here. A little bit of a paint job there. Anyway, we're going to go ahead and move on to the next step, which is going to be glazing this bad boy in some paint remover. Alright guys, so as I mentioned, the next step was putting some paint thinner on it. Getting the paint stripped all the way. So there it is right now. It's just basically we're gonna wait around until that paint thinner starts to make its way through. And if anyone's curious, the stuff that I used on this particular project here, it's Citrus Strip. I think you can pick it up at most department stores. It was at my local Walmart, so that's where I found it. But yeah, I know I got really frustrated looking at a lot of customization videos because they would never show the actual product that they use to strip the paint. And I know some channels out there have their own kind of custom mixture. I am very, very new at doing this, so I'm just basically going with, standard stuff that I've found through research, and hopefully it's going to do a good job on this. We'll see. But we're gonna go ahead and strip all of the paint completely off. And once all the paint's stripped, we wanna make sure that we use a wire brush to basically, get all of the paint completely removed. And once all of that's done, we're gonna do a quick sand job on it and clean it up. And then we'll go ahead and get it ready for painting. Okay, so while we're waiting on that other part to, for the paint to strip off on that, we're just going to go ahead and get started with the next part. I'm going to place some putty right there in between where the axles are. As you can see, there's no like protectant or anything. Adventure Force is about as cheap as you can get. So anyway, we'll place putty there. It should hold the tires in place. And then what we're going to do with the wheels there is we're going to use some rubber and rubberize them. It's going to be some shrink wrap rubber tubing. We're going to put that over the wheels and make them actually, rubber. So they're a lot nicer. They'll flow a lot nicer. I mean, this car rolled pretty smooth. I was fairly surprised just because of the price on here. But the rubber wheels are going to make it roll smoother, and it's going to make it look a lot nicer, in my opinion at least. But yeah, we'll go ahead and get started on this part. Alright guys, so as you can see, I used some putty on the axles there. That's going to help hold the wheels in place. That way, they don't fall upside down when you hold the vehicle like this. Anyway, for the rubber tires, I'm going to be using that heat wrap, shrink wrap tubing, I believe is what it's called. And yeah, guys, you can pick this up at a local hardware store as well. You should be able to find it. If not, you know, I'm sure you can look it up on Amazon. But yeah, it's just this tubing. You're going to want to put it on the tires themselves and then basically cut it to size. You know, place it on the tire, cut it to size. And I find that one is typically enough to do all 4 tires with. But anyway, you want to size it up with your tire, make sure that it fits, so you know, slide it on there, and if it does, then basically cut it to size accordingly and place it all on the tires. Alright guys, so you'll want to put the rubber tubing around all your tires, and you'll want to try to cut it to size a bit. You know, I try to do that with some of them, and it looks like, you know, I got some a little bit better than the other, but the closer that you can cut them when you do the actual shrink wrap on it, and they shrink down, the closer they are, the less they'll overlap on the rim itself. If they overlap on the rim, it's not a big deal. I personally like the look of some of them, and this one's actually going to overlap for sure. I can tell that already. But again, it's not a big deal for me. If it is for you, just trim it down as short as possible, and it'll avoid that overlappage on the rim itself. Alright guys, so I've gone ahead and shrink wrapped it here, as you can see. And I'm going to have to go over it again just to make sure, you know, I get those little imperfections. And like I mentioned, there's significant overlap on mine. So if you want to avoid that, you'll want to cut the thread as close to the rubber tire, you know, portion on the Hot Wheel or the vehicle that you're customizing itself. You'll want to cut it really close to that. Otherwise, you'll have that overlapping issue. I'm sure I can go over it with like an X-Acto knife and, you know, get it to show through. But like I mentioned, for some reason, I'm a fan of the kind of covered wheel a little bit. I may cut it. I may go through it. But anyway, here's what I wanted to really show you guys. Like, look at the roll on this. It's very, I know you can't tell through the camera, but it's very, very smooth. Like this is like prime. I'm not sure why they don't make cars, you know, like this, feel this smooth anyway. But all right, the next step is we're going to check on that Mustang, and if it's ready to scrape off some paint, we're going to go ahead and do that. And just another quick thought, guys, I really like this Adventure Force. Like the bottoms, they, you know, you can tell it's kind of very cheap plastic, but look at the details. They definitely do not, you know, miss on the details. It's way more detailed than I've seen on a lot of Hot Wheels and a lot of Mattel cars. I mean, look at that. It also has the actual exhaust system there, catalytic converter. You know, it's super cool, pretty detailed, especially for a really cheap car. All right, guys, as far as the paint stripping goes, it looks like it's still trying to eat away at that paint. The box did say 30 minutes, so we're going to go ahead and check on it when that time, you know, comes, and if it's ready, we'll go ahead and just start scraping it off, so that way we can move on to the next step of customization. All right, so as you guys can tell, it looks like this was working, and it worked beautifully. I've got the wire brush here. Sure, it's going to work a lot better than that toothbrush, but it's coming apart pretty well. So anyway, I'll see you guys again once this is fully taken off. Alright guys, so here's a quick update of what it looked like after the paint strip process. I don't ever really focus on doing too much to the inside just because, in you know, my opinion, it's always going to be covered anyway as it is, unless you're being super detailed about the inside. You know, you can definitely scrape all of that off if you want that perfect paint job. I do highly recommend getting this all scraped off. I personally am not going to scrape it off though. I'm just going to go ahead and paint it, focus more on the outside color. Now that being said, all of these little specks of green that are still in there, I do have to go over those with a X-Acto knife And so if you guys get any of that, kind of embedded green, you guys can always repeat the process to paint strip this. By the way, if you guys are going to paint strip, make sure you're absolutely being super careful. That stuff's very toxic. It can be very poisonous and it's very dangerous. So make sure you wear your safety gloves, safety equipment. And if you are not an adult, then absolutely make sure you get an adult involved, so they can go ahead and do this process for you. But yeah, guys, I just wanted to give you guys a quick update on that. And next, after I'm done picking all of this out, I'm gonna go ahead and actually sand this down with very, very fine sandpaper. And once I sand it down, I'll give you guys a quick update on that. All right, guys. So this is what it should look like, give or take, roughly after you guys sand it down. Mine, I did try going over it with an X-Acto knife to kind of get in between those creases there, but I was only able to get so much. I know I can basically try to redissolve that paint. That's the stubborn paint that's in there. However, doing that, multiple times, it can damage the integrity of the metal. So I'm not going to do that just for this project's sake. I went over it and sanded it down. I know it shows up a lot better on camera here than it does to the naked eye. But I sanded it down so it's very, very, very smooth. I know that might still impact the paint at the end of the day, but I'm gonna do my best to try to get it essentially fully sealed with a sandable primer. Once that sandable primer has been applied, I'm gonna go over it and resand it, make it super ultra smooth, and then I'm going to actually apply it with the coat of paint that we're going to choose for this car. All right, guys, so I did skip some steps, or I'm sorry, not skip some steps, but I forgot to record when I was doing some of this stuff, so I know you're probably like, whoa, what the heck is that? But anyway, I finished painting the entire car, and then I was just thinking, it might be cool to start adding some like little, neat details. I decided to make this kind of battle ravaged. So as you can see here, there's bullet holes. I'm not sure if the camera's quite picking it up, but there's little bullet holes all there, and a big old, canyon explosion went through the windshield, or it hit the, the front of the car and kind of scorched it a little bit there. And then, you turn it to the back and it looks like it did get hit by some missile or something, caused it to spin out, and anyway, I just wanted to give this car a little bit of character. And as you can see up here, there's some cracks there too, which was intentional, obviously. But yeah, little neat details like this is what I believe, give it kind of a more personalized custom experience. You can also tell there, if you look really closely, there's still the green on the inside. So if I was to redo this, I would totally paint the inside of the frame of the vehicle as well. But I'm not going to do that this time around. But yeah, I just wanted to kind of show you guys what it turned into. I don't have one of those turntables, unfortunately, right now at the moment, so I can't really put it on one of those. But yeah, this is basically the custom. And again, there's lots of little details there. The mirror's kind of banged up a little bit there too. There's a little groove right here, that chunk of the car that was taken out. But anyway, yeah, see, there's the other mirror. It like crashed up against the side of something and was just scraping it, while driving. So I like to give it a little bit of character and just basically, make it look like it's definitely got a story to tell, and just looks really cool. Real, like it's definitely been through something. It's been through a war. But yeah, there's more bullet holes there, as you can see. Got a little scar on the one of the front headlights there. Not sure if the camera's picking that up. Let's see. You can kind of see it there. But anyway, yep, bunch of little holes, little bullet holes, little scrapes, and of course, on the window. I don't know if you can see it that well or not, but there are a bunch of little bullet holes right over here where the driver, would be. Someone tried blasting at him. Luckily, this is all bulletproof, but it's not, cannonball proof or missile proof, whatever, however you want to make it up there. But anyway, guys, yeah, that's how I basically turned this 97-cent car into, whatever it ends up selling for. I'm going to go ahead and post it online. And see, if anybody does take a bid on it. I'm going to start an auction on this one. I will be posting it through eBay, and the auction's going to be starting at a penny. I'm not sure if anyone's going to actually watch this video, especially before that auction ends. But anyway, just wanted to share this custom with you guys. Thanks for watching.